Hey guys, Nakul this side from skillspte academic. Well, in this video I'm going to give you 5 last minute tips to boost up your confidence and also to bring in that sign of positivity to prepare a stronger mindset. Let's quickly start off. Well, right from dictation contributes approximately 35 to 40 marks to your writing and approximately the same marks to your listening. But the problem is it is the last module of listening and listening is timed. But what I've observed is people end up spending a lot of time on MCQs, even the highlight correct summaries, or it could be the select missing word, but this takes a toll on your right from dictation. Because they reach right from dictation with just 1 or 2 minutes in hand. And when such is the case, let's say you've got 5 right from dictation, let's say you've got 4 right from dictation or 3 right from dictation, you will not be able to write all the right from dictations. You end up missing 1 right from dictation for sure, and because of this you end up losing minimum 12 to 15 marks to both your writing and listening. So how to solve it? Prioritize the modules. Summarize spoken text, fill in the blanks, highlight incorrect words and write from dictation. Only these 4 modules are important in listening. The rest of the modules, the moment the audio ends, like don't give too much of a time, max to max 10 to 15 seconds. If you end up giving 1 to 2 minutes on them, then definitely write from dictation takes a toll. So that's the tip number 5 for you. Let's say you finished your read aloud in speaking module but forgot to click the next button immediately because you're too worried about what mistake you did. Well, this happens, isn't it? But during the same time, let's say a real scenario wherein a person sitting right next to you is literally screaming. People do this, isn't it? The idea is very simple. Your voice is always primary voice to the microphone, and during that time if someone speaks, that becomes a secondary voice. All the mics will have the noise cancellation technology, so what they do, they cancel out the secondary voice. But right now the situation is you have finished speaking, correct? You finished speaking, but the person is still screaming. His voice will be considered as primary because its intensity is quite high, correct? When such a thing happens, your scores could really go up and down. That could really hamper your scores. So the idea is very simple. Once you finish speaking in, let's say, read aloud, repeat sentence, describe image, written lecture or answer, short question, you're supposed to click the next button immediately. And once you click the next button immediately, it will again prompt a dialer asking, are you sure you want to go to next question? You click yes immediately and move to the next question. If you're not doing it, let's start doing this. That's the tip number 4 for you. Well, 20 minutes is what is given to you in the essay writing. But what people do, they try to give importance to what is really not important, which is content. 19 minutes they end up focusing on the content and write a beautiful essay, and they proofread only for 1 minute, wherein they just cross-check the essay from top to end. Well, this is a bigger problem. Let me demonstrate the same to you. Alright, so let's proofread this essay. I'm gonna go real slow. Let's see if you can really find out some mistakes here. To commence with, television play a, that's wrong. Television is like he, it's a singular, so television becomes television plays. He eats. Television, that's the first mistake. Television plays a crucial role to inform the people around the world, and most of the people become spelling wrong, aware about the latest news. It is important to note that important spelling wrong, that as television provides spelling wrong, and if you see television spelling is also wrong, as I has to come, so very high possibility you may end up making this mistake. Crucial information, both are wrong. Crucial is correct, sorry, information is wrong, INFOR. Through different spelling wrong, FFE has to come. Most of the people can receive spelling wrong, it is EI not IE. The latest information through news channel. Therefore, this is wrong. The aforementioned E has to come. Therefore, again E has to come. The aforementioned discussion shows that television spelling wrong. It's a vision, not vision. It's I has to come. Place an essential spelling wrong. Double S has to come. So this is a very common problem. It's not that you don't know the spelling of the word essential. While typing, that particular letter S may not have hit properly and on the keyboard. Because of that, you would have typed 2S, double S, but it would have taken only 1S. So when you proofread, you should be really conscious enough to identify these mistakes. Essential role to provide information in people's. There is no word at all called people's. It's people or apostrophe is people's life. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 mistakes are there, and the scores from the essay, minimum 6 to 7 marks you would lose easily. So the problem is you're finishing the essay in the 19-minute and not much time is left for the proofreading. So on the exam day, how to fix this? This is not the problem of the knowledge. Everyone is aware of those basic spellings, but the problem is the lack of consciousness. Everybody is not ready to push to the extreme to consciously focus on these smaller mistakes. I'll just give you a simple example. Let's say the question is, how fast can you run? Well, some say that in the morning with an empty stomach, I can really run fast. Well, others may say that for 5 minutes, I can run like 15 kilometers per hour. That's my max. And there are varied different answers. But let's assume there is a cheetah behind you. Now tell me, how fast can you run? Well, this is the reality of our life. Many of us are just endlessly waiting for the cheetah to be right behind us. But the truth is, cheetah is always there and you just have to believe so, and then you see the magic. You'll definitely live up to your potential. The productivity consequently increases. What once was possible will be easily made possible. Finishing a essay in 14 minutes becomes a very easy task. Nullifying the mistakes become the habit, and many more. So in a nutshell, it is right there inside you. You just have to realize it on the very exam day to think quicker, to execute faster, and to yield a productive result. A lot of people doesn't succeed in PTE only because of their poor mindset. Let's say they made one mistake in repeat sentence and they decide that 79 plus is definitely not possible. Well, I'm going to tell you, one mistake cannot do anything. What the worst it can do, if you let it happen, is to just lower your confidence. Solution for the same is what we call it as smile therapy. Hope you agree that smile is one of the most powerful things that exist in the universe, isn't it? So let's say you made a mistake in repeat sentence. What you're going to do? Immediately you're going to smile. Believe me, you just have to smile, click next, and immediately smile again. But never let your mind think that you made one mistake and you're going to lose all the marks. I'm telling you this because this has worked for myself, for my students, and for a lot of people. Try it once, it will definitely yield a better result. Many don't succeed in PTE speaking and reading only because of the fear that attach with, at least for the first 5 minutes of their speaking test. This lowers their performance in read aloud, and consequently their speaking and reading both goes down. But I also have heard from the people that no matter whatever you say, Nakul, the first 5 minutes, my legs have to tremble. That shaky legs will happen. This is what the starting trouble I have, and it is so hard to control. It is so difficult. This is what I keep hearing from my students all the time. Well, what if I tell you that there is no fear in reality? It is just in your imagination. Well, if this is your story of the fear, then you should certainly check out my story as to how I overcame the fear within myself. Let's just check that out. Let me tell you my background story. I was a very creative person when I was a kid, and the power of creativity never had boundaries. I imagined far more than my reach and was always very happy. But not even in my dream did I realize that I used excessive imagination. Well, yes, excessive imagination to instill the very fear in my mind. The fear of what others think, the fear of being judged, and the fear that always lowered my confidence. Well, you always will have repercussions, or we call it as knock-on effects. In simple terms, it's called karma. You have to pay for it for being negligent towards welcoming an uninvited element called fear into your own well-being. The fear inside me flourished and crept into every aspect of my life. I couldn't initiate a conversation, and even if I do, I stammered. And stammering made me look like a dullhead, and I was always mocked at, insulted, and whatnot. During the seminars in engineering, I was not able to even utter a word, and the worst, the shame. So I went home and stood in front of a mirror and started uttering every of those words that I wanted to speak in the seminar. But to my surprise, when I sat in front of the mirror, I was speaking endlessly without any fear. I sobbed, I screamed, but failed to understand why I was not able to speak in front of the public. And something happened the following day. I had developed an algorithm and I was asked to explain it to the whole class. That's the first time I realized that people were waiting not to mock at me, but to know the information I was about to share. I also realized that I have to convey what I want to convey, and I also made sure not to use my excessive imagination just to be fearful and spoil each and everything. Well, that's the first time I saw a bunch of good people, real good people. And that's the first time even I realized everyone was actually good. But it was my mind which thought they were not. And that's the first time I actually thought I can speak. In fact, I can speak really, really well. The incident changed nothing except this. Weakness, fear and hopelessness died. Strength, power and courage was born. And after that, there was no looking back. I instilled the very positivity in my mind and suppressed the very fear that was with me for quite a long time. Well, the very important thing you need to know to speak well is to be confident within yourselves. Don't give room for the fear to creep in. Guys, it's very simple. Try to understand the motive behind communication. You're communicating with someone not to be judged, but to convey some piece of information or to share some information you have with you. Well, in a nutshell, what my story says is you need to be really confident and don't give room for the fear to creep in. Correct? So you just need to control it and understand what's stopping you from speaking well in the public. At the end of the day, it's about you being confident, you being powerful, courageous. Things will happen on its own. So in a nutshell, it's very simple. You just have to understand the very purpose of this examination. Use your imagination, or whatever we call it as excessive imagination, in reading fill in the blanks. You need to imagine a lot of stuff in listening summarized spoken text in your essay to generate the ideation, but not to evoke the fear within. Well, that's it from this video. I hope you really liked the video and the video has served its purpose. And if you're looking for an online coaching, you can check the information in the description. I'm going to see you soon in the next video. Till then, take care. Thank you so much.